The market is either in for a break to the upside or a break to the downside. Now, let's talk about which way it might break, but even more importantly, let's do an analysis on where we are at. There's a strong indicator that is shouting from the rooftop some critical information on where we are at in the Bitcoin crypto cycle. Don't miss what it's telling us. There's also a new survey that has some bullish findings. I know general sentiment is bearish, but there is some real news out there that suggests the future months of crypto are less bleak than you may think. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain, and if you like money and you like crypto and you're looking for a real investor take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family. It's easy. Subscribe with that all notifications bell enabled. Do note I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a crypto investor myself. Prior to crypto, I did real estate investment for nearly 25 years. And do also note that I do own or plan to own most of what I talk about on this channel because I simply don't talk about crypto projects I don't believe in. We do want to thank our Patreon members. We do have a special private Discord that only our Patreon members get access to. Now make it rain on that like button and strap in for the show. So there are different ways to approach the crypto market as an investor. You can be a short-term trader, which this week is a big week for short-term traders. You can be a longer-term swing trader. This is where my trading strategies are geared towards. And you can be a diamond hands never seller. Now, there isn't a right or wrong approach. I chose the swing trader approach because I've seen the biggest results in this avenue. Not only for myself, but I know many people who have made millions in the past few years in crypto that didn't need to have IQs of like 150 or 160 or 170, or the stresses of trading daily, day in and day out to make millions through crypto. And if you apply some technical analysis and a lot of fundamental analysis, it works really well. Now, there is a really strong technical indicator we're going to talk about in a bit. And that is fantastic news for the swing traders and also those diehard diamond hands. So let's talk first about this week. Then let's talk about some of the macro pressures that are affecting Bitcoin and crypto, and then that indicator. So first of all, the bad news. The Federal Open Markets Committee meeting is expecting to raise interest rates at least 0.75%. Could even be higher than that. The numbers coming in the economy are not looking good. Inflation is at record highs, which is why they have to keep raising these rates. However, raising the rates has a crushing effect as the economies in the US and other countries are already floundering. So as the Federal Reserve, seeks to slow inflation numbers, rising rates help slow that and even stop that, but it has a side effect in that it greatly hampers the economy and at a time when the economy is already struggling. Now, my thought is that stocks have had a rough year already, but as inflation outpaces incomes, then spending power of families get further impacted, and then sales of goods slow down even further, which further impacts profitability of businesses, which can put further downside pressure on stocks. Now that Wall Street is invested in crypto, so far, unfortunately, as stocks do bad, crypto also does poorly as a lot of Wall Street continues to trade Bitcoin almost like it's a tech stock, even though it's not, and it's not at all. At some point, this correlation may change, though, but so far it hasn't. Think of a really heavy cinder block being pulled by a rubber band. You're going to pull and go a little bit farther and pull and go a little bit farther and pull and then a little bit farther. And then all of a sudden that block is finally going to move. When these correlations happen, like tech stocks and Bitcoin, people treat this type of correlation the same way for often far too long until it becomes so apparent that they shouldn't, because the correlation finally breaks and finally that cinder block moves. Why is that relevant? Well, I believe there's much more downside potential for stocks, and that it is very, very likely if the economy continues to tumble, more money is likely to come out of stocks as price to earnings ratios will go, well, price will continue to drop. That will actually increase price to earnings ratios, but profitability will drop. Then they'll start laying people off, which will further downturn the economy, and it'll lead to less people able to buy. And that's just the way that plays out. So the stock market is a risky place to be, riskier than normal. After about 12 years of a really good run up, we've had some correction, only about a 30% correction. The potential for more downside is very, very high, especially as interest rates continue to get raised. But for crypto, notice an interesting side of that many people are predicting a bear market until 2024. The Bitcoin halving that happens there. I suspect with so many people predicting it plays out that way that it's going to play out very differently. And I want to share with you some good news. Well, the good news is people are sometimes calling for a 10K or a 6K Bitcoin. And what we often want to know as investors is, well, they're calling for much lower Bitcoin. But I want to know, are we at or near the bottom? Well, there's an indicator that suggests absolutely we are. And that's called the pi cycle bottom. So let me share with you my chart here. All right. So here we have Bitcoin versus the US dollar index on TradingView. And I've got it on logarithmic scale so that we can look at the past. This is 2017's pump. This is 2013's pump. So after 2013's pump, this pi cycle indicator. Now, the pi cycle indicator, the pi cycle bottom, happens when the 150-day moving average crosses below the 471-day moving average. So let's take a look at that. Here we have in green, this is a shorter term average, or the 150-day moving average. And we see it crosses right here, giving us this pi cycle bottom. And you see this red line is the 471-day moving average. So the short-term moving average crosses below the long-term moving average, and this gives us this bottom. Now, was it fully the bottom of 2015? Well, it wasn't. We had one more wick down like this, but it indicated right in here you were pretty assured that you were buying at or near the bottom, right? Okay, so let's go to after the 2017 pump. We enter later 2018 here, and look, your shorter term moving average, which is your 150-day moving average, goes below the larger moving average, the 471-day moving average, and bam, we get our pi cycle bottom. Now, it was right here at the bottom? Actually, it was like right at the bottom, right? And so it came wicked down one more time near here, and then it was generally off to the races, with March of 2020 being really, really interesting because of some COVID fears, popping down, but then continuing this very long run up. Well, guess what happened a little bit ago? Yep, the pi cycle indicator. And this is very good news because as a swing trader, what I want to know is, okay, I don't need to get the exact bottom. That's fine. I do like to buy as much as I can near the bottom and feel somewhat assured that I'm buying low. You know, you don't mind buying and then it drops another 30 or 50%. Or if you do, then your expectations are probably just off. This is crypto. It's extremely volatile. And though we would all love to time the exact bottom, nobody times the exact bottom. And that's just not more than every once in a great while. And so what we're trying to do is just generally buy when it's low and then sell when it's high. And that system works extremely well over time. So we're buying here at the what this indicator is saying is at or very near the bottom, and that is very exciting. And so if you're feeling bearish because so many people have you down, yeah, it's important to know this fact, isn't it? And yeah, it's very reassuring because we had a really interesting 2021, and there were some macro factors that really pumped 2021 up. I'll probably talk about it in a later video, that we had this early pump that didn't go as high as it should have. And then we probably would have had another parabolic move here, but we got pushed down by some macro factors in the stock market failing, the US dollar going up so strong, and some other things that have pushed us way down. And what the pi cycle is telling us is at or very near the bottom of this cycle. So looking forward to what's coming. Now, I have a survey that I wanted to share with you as well, but before I do, I wanted to give a shout out to our strategic partners, Wanchain. They did a Storm and Node update, and you can see their upgrade happened this morning at 3 a.m. UTC time. So congratulations to them. Now, Storm and Nodes allow Wanchain to do their trustless bridges, which is it's very much a safer bridging system than most chains use for their bridges. We saw Axie Infinity's bridge get hacked for hundreds of millions of dollars. We even saw Freeway Token's bridging partner be hacked recently and the wallet associated with that. Now, Freeway Token made people whole quickly, and I think Axie Infinity is still working, I believe, to make people whole. But wouldn't it be better to have a trustless system where so much couldn't be lost? And Wanchain has this, as well as some of the best cross-chain tech in the industry. All right, let's get to this bullish survey. Bank of America did a survey of 1,000 existing and potential users of cryptocurrency and digital asset exchanges. So some of them are existing users, some they have identified as potential users. I found that 91% of respondents intended to buy crypto in the next 6 months. Now, what's interesting is that's actually the same percentage that said that they had bought some in the last 6 months. So what you're seeing is in people's actual personal buying behavior, they're not slowing down. This is actually a very bullish sign, and that couples really well with what we're seeing in the Pi cycle bottom. Great information. Now, if you made it this far, I've got our Rainmaker app for all of you. It's about 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and it reinforces the sound investing principles that have helped me over the years really to go from thousands to making millions in the crypto space in just the past 4 years. And if you haven't committed yourself to the crypto cycle, if you're here for life-changing wealth, commit to at least 5 years. You'll be amazed at what can happen in 5 years. A lot of times the millions that we want to make doesn't happen as quickly as we want, because a lot of times we think we're going to do it in a year or a year and a half. But when you give yourself longer time frames, 5 and even 9 years, your chances of life-changing wealth go way up, because at first you're bad when you come in crypto and you don't know how to trade appropriately, and we're far too emotional. But as we get some experience and we get some skills and we learn how to identify good buys and good timing on buys, well, then our chance of success go way, way up. And then, so we got to give ourselves enough time to be successful. This wrap reinforces those principles. Hope you enjoyed. If you've never heard it before, for all you that are here all the time, you know exactly what this song's all about.
Came into the space, chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, shit, right before you could, was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss, cause I always make the time in mind. I stick the one out cause I'm patient like that, and I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. The principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy, but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this wrong, cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing, and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time, the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort, cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, my years going so fast. This game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, but time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.